The criminal multinational elements that have hijacked our republic are in full panic mode. Donald J. Trump has led the American people in the first stages of restoring our republic. Now they're launching the bizarre conspiracy theory with no proof, claiming that Trump and his legions of supporters are either Russian agents or their dupes. While the trillion-pound elephant in the living room is the fact that Hillary Clinton publicly got illegal money from the communist Chinese, Saudi Arabia, and scores of other nations directly to super PACs and her campaign, not to mention her admittedly illegal foundation. It was Hillary that got $35 million to hand over our uranium to Russia, not Donald Trump. That's why it's imperative that President-elect Trump get on the offense now with the truth that it's Hillary, the Democrats, and the MSM that are in league with the foreign powers of globalism to bring our country down and destroy our sovereignty. They have done in spades what they accuse Donald J. Trump of. I have a very grave message for President-elect Trump and his inner circle, as well as the American people. President-elect Trump, I'm not the only one that's pointed out that you are already being more of a commander-in-chief than Obama ever did in 8 years. Mike Wallace and many others have noticed this and pointed it out. My listeners have been saying this for weeks. All the amazing things you've done with your energy, your drive, your vision, your focus to make America great again. And I know that you are very aware of a lot of the developments happening in this country. But I also know that you've been very busy contacting world leaders, contacting business leaders, forming your new government, and trying to bring jobs and security back to this nation to make this republic great again. And while you've been busy preparing your new executive branch government as the 45th president of the United States of America and our great republic, the Democratic Party, multinational globalist interest, the mainstream dying corporate media, and most importantly, rogue elements or splinter groups inside major U.S. agencies have been working overtime privately, secretly, but also in public to delegitimize you and the American people who overwhelmingly voted to put you into office. In your first few weeks, you reached out with olive branches towards the mainstream media, towards Hillary, towards the Democratic Party. And they responded by viciously lying about you, by claiming that you were illegitimate, and by launching recounts. Notice we don't hear about the recounts now because it gained hundreds and hundreds of votes for you and only a few for Hillary, showing that indeed you had been robbed but still won. So now they're pushing the conspiratorial narrative with a secret CIA report that Obama ordered produced, claiming that you are somehow under the influence of the Russians and that the American people didn't wisely choose to elect you. No, that Russia somehow hacked the election and stole it, giving no proof. To be quite honest with you, Mr. President, I have watched in horror the last month while they viciously attacked you, and you've been basically silent compared to how you were during the campaign because you're taking the high road and trying to actually get jobs back to this country and form your government. I understand, but they're never going to let you form your government unless you go on the offensive and expose what they're doing. Finally, you're starting to tweet and saying, look, this is a total conspiracy claiming that Russia influenced the election. This is the same rogue CIA that lied to us about WMDs in Iraq. You've also tweeted and said, look, can you imagine if I would have lost and I would have claimed that the Russians were the reason? No one would buy it. Hillary, the Obama administration, the EU, and even large parts of Congress bipartisanly are calling for restrictions on speech and the shutting down of alt-right websites that are your biggest supporters. And Mr. President, I'm sure you know it then gets even worse. The New York Times, the Washington Post, and others have all seriously written articles calling for you to be banned from Twitter, saying you're a hate monger and that you, quote, are bullying people when all you're doing is responding to attacks. Sir, it is critical for you to come out and make a vocal statement to the world and have a press conference and confront these rats about the fact that former senior ambassador from the UK, Craig Murray, went public a month ago when they were first pushing this Russia bull. And he said, I came to the United States representing WikiLeaks, and I talked to the senior U.S. intelligence officer who leaked the information to WikiLeaks. This is not a hack. This is an internal U.S. leak exposing the criminality of the Clintons and others. We need you, Mr. President, to get back on the offensive and stand up there and point all of this out. How incredibly outrageous it is that it's known that Hillary Clinton was meddling in our election at every level. We have the emails where they ordered the fake polls showing you losing. We have the emails where they were coordinating everything from Comedy Central to CNN, where they were giving the debate questions beforehand to her and letting her basically set the parameters of the debate. When you famously pointed out that it was 3 against 1, you were dead on. And that's the Donald Trump the American people love. Hold that press conference with the UK ambassador where he talks about how he met with the U.S. leaker. Hold the press conference and talk about crooked Hillary and the fact that she's the one that manipulated the election. Point out that they're turning everything around from the crimes they've committed and claiming with some conspiracy theory that it's the supposed Russians that are behind it. Mr. President, I respect you and I have a lot of trust for you. But just know the American people have your back. Obama basically was shunned when he went to the Army-Navy game where you were mobbed and got standing ovation after standing ovation. Know that the American people of every race, color, and creed who are awake are behind you. And know that the police and military are awake to what's happened. They understand there's been a globalist coup in this country and that you're part of a counter coup to take the country back peacefully. The problem is they're not going to stand down and let that happen. Even CNN admits that they're basically establishing a national emergency in this country. Soros has doubled the amount of funding to communists and Black Lives Matter to intensify riots. Cop killing has exploded, and it's all in a buildup over the next 37 days to try to stop you from getting inaugurated. So again, please get on the offensive more than you've been on the offensive, because this enemy that you're giving quarter is not going to give you quarter because they know you are the real deal. They know you're bringing back 10 billion in steel jobs and 50 billion in Japanese high tech and already bringing back Carrier and already bringing back Ford factories, and they're scared. They thought they had this country on its knees and they could sell us off to the highest bidder. They are scared of you, and you know that a cornered rat is incredibly dangerous. So you're going to have to go after them. You're going to have to punish them for their crimes. They're not just going to leave in absentia. They're not just going to step down. They're not going to just run off with their stolen money. They are going to organize and come after you. Mr. President, we elected Donald J. Trump. We did not elect the rogue CIA. We did not elect the Department of Education. We did not elect all these arrogant people that think we belong to them, that our children belong to them, and that America belongs to them. And we need you to get on the offensive now, just like you did in the second debate, or you will be torn to shreds by these criminals. And make no mistake, they will try to delegitimize your election and will try to impeach you in your first year of office. So we're here defending you. We need you to defend the new burgeoning free press like Infowars.com and Breitbart.com that have made Hillary Clinton and the globalists so incredibly angry at us. In the words of Benjamin Franklin, we will all hang together or we will hang separate. I know you're loyal to this republic, and I am as well. We've come a long way, but the battle has just begun. Look, I'm not going to sit here and say, see, I told you so, that communist Chinese-style net censorship was coming to the web, because it's already here. It's being announced. The way you keep the internet open and free is you get involved more than ever. Go to Infowars.com/app. A new battleship in the fight. Infowars Live. Available right now. We're looking for a crew to man it. You going to sit down and play games and be a trendy? Or are you going to be part of history? Don't sit by and let the internet and free speech be stolen from you. Take action.